right, see here. See. Oh. We're going to start in about 60 seconds, y'all. 60 seconds. Oh, it's chilly, man. It is chilly. I got my ceiling fan on. I don't really know if I should be having that on right now, man. Ooh. Hey, Google, what's the weather?
Currently in Gaithersburg, it's 46 degrees and cloudy. Tonight, the forecast is around 45 with rain.
Yeah, no wonder I'm feeling kind of... It's fucking 40 degrees over here. Shit. Okay. Actually, that's not even my city, but I'll take it. It's about the right ballpark. All right. All right, we're going to start in a little bit, y'all. Oh, man. Let's see. And... Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
Warning, the RCWR Show with Lee Sanders is intended for a mature audience only. The following is an Infinity One Productions presentation, keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive. Covering the latest in wrestling and beyond since 2011. You're listening to the RCWR Show. Now, your host, live from the nation's capital in Washington, D.C., Lee Sanders.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Lee Sanders here, checking out an all-new RCWR Show Wednesday night, March 17th, 2021. It's hard to believe we're already at the midpoint for the month of March. That is just crazy to believe. Like for me, it just feels as though March began just about 4 to 5 days ago. That's how it's feeling for me. Time is going by pretty damn quick, man. How the hell y'all been, man? Hump day here. Hey, look, for those of you that happen to be celebrating St. Patrick's Day, hey, shout out to you. Hopefully for those of you that were getting your drink on and all that, hopefully you all were drinking responsibly. Me personally, I've never celebrated St. Patrick's Day, you know, nothing personal. It's just, you know, but I am on spring break, so I am drinking to that tonight. Any opportunity that I have where I don't have to worry about no work, I don't have to worry about school and all that other shit, I will take my little victory laps where I can. I don't think I told you guys what I've been drinking this week. So I know last time I told you guys about a strawberry jalapeno little margarita IPA that I had came across. Well, this go round, I've got a Campfire Amplifier IPA by Dogfish Head. And let me just pull up my webcam so I can see what you guys are seeing. And then that way I can show you guys properly. This is how it looks. I don't know if you guys can get a really good look at the design there, and it's pretty badass. It's basically inspired by s'mores, you know, graham crackers, chocolate, marshmallows, and all that. And it's so badass because when you actually smell it, you know, if you're kind of like me and, you know, you can look past the hobs when you're smelling your alcohol and all that. You know, you can actually smell whatever it is you're supposed to be smelling. So in this case, you're hearing, oh, there's like, you know, inspired by marshmallows, s'mores, and blah, 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 this and that. You can actually smell the chocolate. You can actually smell some sweetness to it and some other stuff. It's pretty good. I definitely recommend you check it out if you're looking for a little bit of variety when it comes to your IPA there. But yeah, I'm enjoying myself, man. You know, I'm relaxing. I can't complain. My day today was actually really damn good when I stop and think about it, because I actually had got an email. I have been waiting patiently for this email. I have finally got an email. My fault. Let me pull up the chat too, by the way. Let me pull up the chat too. Hang on. Let me pull that up. There you go, guys. Now y'all can pretty much see y'all lovely little chat messages with each other and to me and everything. But I got an email earlier this afternoon, and I was doing a little bit of straightening up around the house, kind of taking it easy, doing a little bit of light reading here and there. As I don't know what was going on yesterday, but at work for me, I don't know how it was for some of you guys, but at work for me, it was rather extremely busy. Maybe because everybody was just trying to get ready for today. I don't know, but it was excessively busy yesterday, and I just remember physically I felt so worn out. And I'm seeing now that the older I get, I need at least a day, depending on what I'm doing physically. I'm seeing that I need at least a full day to recover before I do, some stuff maybe full blown around the house, or, want to move around, run some errands, things of that nature. But today made my day as I was pretty much relaxing. I got an email saying that, hey, it's your turn. It's your turn to get the COVID vaccine. So I've been waiting patiently for this. Now, I haven't been doing like most people. And most people, as soon as they had heard about the vaccines rolling out, they pretty much were just in front of their computers and just going all crazy and everything. I didn't do that. My whole thing was, you know what? Let me just wait until, more information has come out. Ain't no side effects, things of that nature. Let me just wait until a little bit more information has come out. And then also, let me wait a little bit until all the craziness has died down a little bit, so that now we can kind of, if you really ask me straight up, I really wanted to wait until the next administration. And that's how confident I was we were going to be getting a new administration. My mentality was, let me wait until a new administration gets in there. And then when they do, they're pretty much going to be implementing a whole bunch of, as far as getting the vaccines, it's going to be a lot better than at the time. What was it? Pretty much we were going into the primaries, right? Think about how it was during the primaries and pretty much where we kind of are now. You feel me? So that's why I had waited and everything. And yeah, so I got this Friday, my appointment is in the morning. I'm going to get my first of 2 COVID vaccine shots. I'm a little nervous, definitely. Those that I have spoken to, they've told me, nothing to it. Your arm's going to be a little bit sore. You may see a little bit of redness, but most people I've spoken to, they haven't gotten any type of redness on their arm where they got the injection. Some did talk about how they felt a little bit fatigued, things of that nature. So I'm preparing myself for that. But, I'm hoping, I don't know, I'm a little bit kind of concerned though, because I don't go back to work until Saturday. So I guess for those of you that got your vaccine shots, I guess I would have to ask you all, or those of you that maybe know somebody that got the vaccine shot, if I'm getting the vaccine shot on a Friday and I'm supposed to be coming back to work Saturday, should I really be going back to work is my question. Because, I hear most people, what they're doing, they're actually taking 2 days at most. Some are taking 3, but most are taking 2 days off work just to make sure that as far as any side effects, things of that nature goes, I know nauseum, fatigue. For some, there was a case of vomiting. That's a rare instance right there, the vomiting. But I wonder if I should be going back to work on Saturday, or if I should just be letting my employer know, hey, I got the vaccine. I really don't want to come. Let me know. I'm a little bit curious how it's going for you all, or those who you personally know. Honestly, I think I should be good to go. I'll know what's going on with me way before I'm even supposed to go in to work that Saturday, because I'm hoping that, and where I'm going to get it, they've had so much experience with organization and everything. It's going to be bam, bam. do what you need to do, and you can pretty much roll out. It's not going to be ridiculously insane, long ass lines, unlike what you see that's happening in some cities and everything. So yeah, pretty excited for that. A little nervous, but I'm pretty excited for that. And look, I can't stress it enough. Look, you guys, you got to get the shot. You got to get the shot. If there's one thing that I always give it to you right between the eyes, I always tell it to you guys exactly how it is. If you all have not gotten the shot yet because you are scared, I totally understand that. Totally, I do. But would you rather continue to be running around unprotected against this virus, especially now that we've got these variants that have made their way into our country? Do you really want to put yourself in that type of jeopardy? Do you really want to put your loved ones in jeopardy because you decide, I don't want to get the shot because for whatever respected reason? It's not worth the risk. It's not worth the risk. So go ahead, do your research, and get the shot. If you ask me straight up, because I know some people have been spending months looking for the shot, I didn't finally sit down in front of a computer and put in my information to get a shot not until about maybe 2 weeks ago is when I actually did it. And if anything, I probably moved up the chain a little bit because I'm a type 2 diabetic. And so that's probably, now my type 2 diabetes, it's controlled. I am able to control it. It's uncomplicated. That's the official medical term that my doctor has dubbed. He feels that it's non-complicated, and that if anything, I can actually reverse the type 2 diabetes. He's that confident in that. And so much so that he's been looking at my recent progress, and he's actually thinking about doing a little experiment, downgrading on my medicine a little bit. So I got to get with him in a couple of weeks, see what the game plan is for that one. Yeah, so I think that's probably why I actually had moved up the chain just a little bit, is because I'm a type 2 diabetic, and then on top of that, I'm an essential worker. So and I deal with a lot of people face to face on a daily basis. There's just no way I can get around that. I have to deal with people on a face to face basis. There's a whole lot of touching and everything going on. So I would imagine that's probably why, that 1-2 punch, why I had moved up the chain a little bit. So, but knock on wood, man, I'm happy. But yeah, I can't stress enough, get the shot. Get the shot. If not for yourself, get the shot for your loved one. And to my fellow black and brown brothers and sisters that's out there, I know we got that stigma that's out there about our people and people of color being guinea pigs and all that shit when it comes to stuff like this. Like I feel you, like particularly when it comes to that Moderna vaccine. Let's keep it 100 for a second. That Moderna vaccine, a lot of people are like, hey, what the fuck? Because people of color were not tested. People of color were not tested with the Moderna. And yet we're expected to go get this shot, right? So it's like, what the fuck? But regardless, whether you're getting the Pfizer or you're getting the Johnson & Johnson or you're getting the Moderna, whatever is available to you, I think there's even going to be like a 4th or 5th option soon, but whatever is available to you, get it. Just fucking get it. Go to your local city website, county, sign up. If you're an essential worker and maybe your job is setting it up for you as well, use that outlet as well. You can always go through your respected healthcare provider as well. I mean, you got, typical American will have 3 options of trying to get that fucking vaccine. But don't be scared. I feel where you're coming from. I'm a little scared as well, but you know what? I would rather be safe than sorry, right? So please, I implore you, make sure you get that shot so that eventually we all can just together crush this shit once and for all, and we can get back to how things were as far as a normal life goes before this shit had even occurred. For real, for real. So what's this about not getting notifications when I post new videos or go live? To that, and for anybody else that maybe are checking out the show live and maybe will be listening on the downloads on demand, to that I say you want to make sure, and this is particularly a shout out to those on YouTube, you want to make sure that first off, you're checking to make sure that you are subscribed. And then the second thing that you want to do is make sure that, okay, yeah, it does appear that I'm subscribed. Okay, cool. You want to make sure that you're clicking on the bell notification. There's a little bell notification. And when you click it, you'll get a little message that I think the way it has broken down now, I think you get 3 options. Either the first option is, okay, you're going to get all notifications of whatever is going on with this channel. And then like there's another option where you'll get I don't want to know about every single update with this channel. Just notify me when they post, videos or something like that. And I think there's a third option where it's just I don't want any notifications whatsoever. So you guys respectfully would have to just play around with it and pretty much go from there. But yeah, I mean, it's really not that hard. You just got to go in and you're back in. Because for me, I've done what I've needed to do at my respective end. When I go live, like every single time I go live and I post something on social media, every time, like for YouTube, for instance, I get an option in the back end where I can say whether or not I want to notify my subscribers about, hey, I'm going live. There's a live video, things of that nature. And I always make sure to select, hey, notify them, let them know that I'm getting ready to do my thing here. So I'm doing my part. You guys as viewers got to make sure that you're doing your part. Yeah. So a little bit of a nice show we're going to be getting into. Time's not the enemy. Still on spring break here until next week. We saw AEW NXT go off the air not too long ago. A couple of okay spots from both shows. A little bit on the meh side for this week, honestly. It was kind of, I felt myself kind of coming and going as I'm looking at the shows. There's a large part of me that was disengaged. It wasn't that the shows were bad tonight. It was just there were many parts where, yeah, that's cool, but I don't really particularly care about this. So what else we got? Like, for example, NXT. And we'll do the full breakdown in a little bit. But NXT, for me, the main talking point was Karrion Kross, Finn Balor. Heavy emphasis on the Karrion Kross. And for AEW, at least for me tonight, it was, aftermath of what happened to the Inner Circle. Now I get to see MJF in this new stable. Hopefully it plays out in a way where Inner Circle is off TV, at least for a couple of weeks, something I had alluded to on, what was it? I think I alluded to it on last Wednesday's show, if I'm not mistaken. So that was a selling point for me. Jade Cargill back in action. That was a big selling point for me. Thunder Rosa taking on Britt Baker, lights out match. That for me was the biggest selling point for AEW Dynamite tonight. I remember what Britt Baker and Nyla Rose did a couple of weeks ago. They had the highest, remember we talked about it here on the show, they had the highest rating for the entire night on Dynamite. And I gave my hats off. I remember I gave that match a lot of praise, if you guys recall. A lot of praise. And to hear that Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa, were going to be in that match tonight. Hell, they didn't just have that match tonight. Let's be for real. They didn't just have that match tonight. They actually main evented Dynamite tonight. Boy, I got a lot to say about that match too. A lot of praise. I can tell you that off the break. But yeah, those were the main selling points for me for both shows. Everything else was just filler in between. And I just felt a bit disengaged. It was really hard for me to just sit down and do the dual screen like I do weekly and watch both of these shows. I found myself instead looking at my phone, texting a couple of people and everything, checking in with my girl, making sure she's okay, and checking in on my dog because my dog's been acting a little bit funny the past couple of days. She hasn't been eating her food. I don't know if she's got an upset tummy or what. I had gave her some sardines earlier because dogs, they can eat sardines. I don't know how many of you pet lovers are aware of that, but dogs can eat sardines just as, they can eat fish. And she had some fish and she seemed to like that. And that for me was a really good sign. Oh, okay, so all right, she's a little hungry. Okay, well, I'm just waiting on a good moment when I can really try to feed her. And knock on wood, she actually did eat her own food tonight for dinner, so that was pretty good. Yeah, but I found myself just doing any and everything else but really sitting down and looking at both shows tonight. They were on, but I was like I was in a trance. I don't know if you guys have been in that position before, but that's pretty much where I have found myself tonight. But my memory will be jogged at some of the stuff that I had saw tonight, because not for nothing, but I did pretty much see everything that had played out tonight. Dynamite kicking off with Cody Rhodes taking on Penta El Zero. Nice opener between these two. Cody Rhodes picking up the dub here. A lot of fun in this matchup. I thought that this was going to have a lot of fast-paced action, a lot of high energy to it, and pretty much had got that. I like the fact that Penta was celebrating in style when it came to St. Patrick's Day. I got to give him a little bit of props for that. But yeah, these guys went about maybe 10, 11 minutes here. Pretty good. Cody Rhodes opening up Dynamite. That for me was just, and he doesn't have the TNT championship right now, just Cody Rhodes, just, I was expecting to see this matchup, if it was going to happen tonight, I was expecting to see it a little bit later on during the card and everything, but the fact that AEW wanted to set the tone just right, I thought this was pretty good, especially considering what was NXT's opener and all. So I thought this was a pretty smart way for AEW to open up. Two veterans in their own respective right, going at it there. Now, see, my question is this it for Penta and Cody? Because I still feel that there's a lot more that these two guys can do. So I'm hoping that this feud with these guys continue on, but, we'll have to wait and see how that pans out. Backstage, Young Bucks, they're chatting it up with Alex Marvez. And Matt talks about how Ray and he beat the shit out of each other in that classic singles matchup I was telling you guys about from last week. And also talked about, hey, as good as that singles match was, hey, I'm part of the best tag team in pro wrestling going today right now. Don Callis comes into the scene and says to them, hey, greetings, salutations. Hear me out. I got a lot that I need to say to you. I just want you guys to marinate on this for a hot minute. Think about how you guys were rolling in New Japan. Think about that for a second. The great ride that you guys were on in Japan and how ultimately y'all came over here to the U.S. You found this place, been doing the whole thing with the Elite and everything. But, kind of feel as though you killed your careers. Yeah, Don Callis actually said to the Young Bucks, he felt that they killed their careers, so to speak. And he said this while also putting over Kenny Omega as the god of pro wrestling. And he asked them to do him a favor, which is to look themselves in the mirror and ask themselves if they see the same Bucks that he saw back in New Japan. So kind of a nice little little cliffhanger there, saying like you kind of stop it and you're thinking about that. You go, yeah, Young Bucks, New Japan, yeah, that was pretty. Oh, what Don Callis cooking up here, man? So obviously Don Callis is trying to cook up that unity, so to speak. He's trying to make sure that the Bucks, Omega, and all that. He's trying to make sure nobody's going outside of that party line there, so to speak. While also at the same time trying to, in a sense, make the Young Bucks come back to that level that they were when they were in New Japan and everything. So it wouldn't be the last time that we saw Don Callis. Don Callis would appear later on in the night. I'll tell you guys how that went in just a hot minute. Second matchup of the evening, the beautiful, the lovely, the talented, taking wrestling fans by storm, Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill was in action against Danny Jordan. Man, this was barely a match. This was like 90 seconds long. If there was a lot more I could add to this match for you guys, I definitely would add on to this match. Look, to sum it up, Jade comes out there. She's flexing, all that good shit when she's coming out there. Just radiant with the arrogance is Jade Cargill. And she pretty much comes in there flexing, delivers a couple of strikes to Danny Jordan, hitting the poses, hitting the flex and everything. Pretty much, damn, I'm trying to remember how she beat her. She beat her with such ease. I think she did like no, it wasn't a face buster. She did one of those, I can't think of it. I can't think of I can see the move. I just can't think of the proper name, sadly. But man, yeah, it was like 90 seconds long. Jade Cargill just owning the hell out of Danny Jordan. I was okay with this. Yeah, I mean, look, you look at Danny Jordan, look, not for nothing, Danny Jordan, she's a little bit that I've seen of her outside of AEW. She's pretty good in her own respected right and everything. But hey, Jade Cargill, that's where everything is right now. I'm just where I'm a little bit, I'm not really sure if we should be going in the direction of, okay, just hear me out for a second. We just saw Jade Cargill in a high-profile matchup, teaming up with Shaq, taking on Red Velvet and Cody Rhodes there, right? Shaq, Jade, Cody, Red Velvet. And it's okay, so I'm just trying to understand. You feel where I'm coming from? You feel where I'm going? So we go from this, and then we just pretty much go all the way down. I'm not calling Danny Jordan enhancement talent, right? I'm not calling her CAW1, but it's a tier above that as far as within the AEW universe right now, okay? So for me, that just really kind of shook me kind of, Jade Cargill deserves better, but if it would have been a case where we could have seen her maybe take on Leva Bates, like, I totally would have been okay with that, right down to the point. I'm sure for those of you that got social media, y'all stay seeing, if you follow her online, you stay seeing Leva Bates, and she's been posting a whole bunch of stuff on social media. Hey, Leva Bates, we need to give me a chance here. It's been a good minute since I've been in the ring for AEW doing my thing. Like, what's going on? And look, if she's doing stuff on AEW Dark, I don't know anything about that, so I would have to rely on you guys, because I normally don't check out Dark. I have been checking Elevation, though. I did watch that first episode, and I did enjoy that. I definitely want to touch upon Elevation one more time, and we'll definitely do it here tonight, because I got some funny shit to say about that whole 9 days, 9. We'll get that in a hot second. But, post-match, it was nice seeing, it was a glam slam. That's what it was. That's what Jade Cargill did. Because I was kind of thinking Beth Phoenix there a little bit. It was a glam slam, basically, that she did on Danny Jordan. Picked up the 1-2-3. That pretty much was over. Jade Cargill continuing the showboat, and she goes outside the ring. She happens to see Red Velvet in the crowd. Red Velvet's looking on at her, and yeah, I saw what you did. Yeah, that was cute and everything. You aight. And there's a little bit of trash talking going on, and I don't know who pushed who first or who put their finger up in the other person's forehead first. The next thing you know, you see officials come out separating the girls and everything. So at least you still got that element there of, hey, these two girls, they still got that built-in little rivalry amongst each other. So that's good. Where do you go with that is my question. There's a couple of different directions you can go with that. You can either go in a direction of those girls continue on with their respective feud. I would love it if we could see them become a tag team, and hell, that'd be kind of cool to see them go for some women's tag belts there. That'd be kind of interesting there. But then, hang on a second, guys. Okay, we're good. I was just making sure I wasn't missing something important from the missus there, because she still isn't home from work just yet, and it's getting a little bit late. But that would be kind of interesting. Have yourself a nice little women's tag championship there, going on, tag belts in AEW. That'd be kind of good if you could maybe do a little something like that with them. I think right now, though, what I personally would love to see happen next, it would be great camera time too. I would love to see Vicky Guerrero in storyline somehow try to court Jade Cargill and say, hey, look, I've seen everything that you've been doing so far in AEW, and you are very, very, very promising. You got a bright career ahead of you. All you need is just that right guidance. And look, not for nothing, but there's been quite a few people I've been able to take to the very top. You don't know about me, you need to Google me or whatever. But I think that would be a very interesting pairing. If you put Vicky Guerrero with Jade Cargill. And here's the other thing that I would like about that as well. Vicky Guerrero in storyline could court Jade and be her, manager / valet and everything. You could also add a little element in there where, oh, Nyla Rose, how exactly does she feel about this? Is she feeling slightly betrayed? What's going on there? You could also have a little bit of a friction element there between Jade and Nyla. Well, anything you can do, sister, I can do better. A little bit of friction that keeps going back and forth that way, and things just fucking implode. And maybe you could have those girls duke it out a little bit. But AEW's in a very interesting position where they got a few options. They definitely have a few options where they can go. But you know what? Their women's division right now, as far as the talent that they have, it's so fucking stacked that why not? Why not go on ahead and pull the trigger on a AEW women's tag division? Why not go ahead and pull the trigger? Because when it's all said and done, look, hear me out. And I know we're kind of segging away a little bit here. We're segueing a bit here. But think about it. You gotta have a hook for your AEW Dark and your AEW Elevation. You gotta have there be some type of an extra incentive for why folks need to watch these shows. And I agree with what everybody has been saying thus far. Look, just based off what I saw from Dark Elevation, the little bit that I've seen here and there over the months from AEW Dark, I agree with the fans that are vocally saying, there needs to be some type of story arcs, more encouragement of story arcs that we can really get into on the YouTube shows that could ultimately carry over into the YouTube shows, but then somehow at the same time set up those YouTube. I totally agree with you guys. And I think part of how you can try to tackle that is by, obviously you can't do the TNT championship on the YouTube shows. Obviously you can't do that. Probably would not be a good idea to ever do the AEW world title on, right? Why do something for free? Especially if people are already feeling, it's going to be a match, but come on, there's no way that the title is going to change hands on a YouTube show, right? So, scratch that. But if you were to do here and there a AEW Women's World title, okay. World Championship match, okay. If you were to have the AEW Women's Tag titles and let that, I think that would be very, very, very interesting. If officially, and I think it is officially recognized. I'm not sure. I would have to do a little bit of research, but I believe it's officially recognized now. But the FTW Championship, if you were to maybe go ahead, activate that, have that be a little incentive on AEW Dark and Dark Elevation. So you know what I'm saying? Like, you definitely need to create some incentives there for watching those shows. It doesn't help when you have Tony Khan saying in an interview, there's really no reason for fans, and I'm paraphrasing here, fans don't really need to watch the dark stuff. All they need to do is just watch Dynamite and watch the pay-per-views, and they're good. It's like, no, you don't really want to say that. You want to make those shows feel as close to equally as important as your Dynamite shows, because you just never know what's going to happen. You need to watch, right? So that's just where I stand with that. To each its own, but that's just where I stand with that. A little bit of food for thought right there. All right, so up next, we saw MJF, Tully, Blanchard, FTR, Shawn Spears, Wardlow. They're in the house. Tully grabs the microphone, puts over all the guys that's in the ring, and pretty much talking about what they did to the Inner Circle last week. Pretty much sets things up so MJF can take the microphone and talk. MJF now says, well, hey, guess I'm the Judas now. And he says, it was really hard for months pretending to like Jericho. It was no walk in the park, let me tell you. It wasn't easy being the most charismatic individual that had to take a back seat for 6 months. He said something like, much like the back of Jericho's hair. I mean, it was kind of witty how he had fucking brought that shit up and everything. He said something like he had to fall to the back, much like Chris Jericho's hairline. You go, ooh, damn. Here he goes with that fucking burn again, man. I love MJF, man. But he pretty much says that, hey, what you see happening right now before your eyes, we wanted to take over the Inner Circle, and that's exactly what we did. From day one, the goal was to kill the Inner Circle from the inside. That's what they had accomplished. And we found out the name of this stable as well. Their name is The Pinnacle. That is their new name. They are now dubbed as The Pinnacle. And they pretty much put the entire locker on notice. They're better than everybody, and particularly for MJF to Jericho, better than you, Jericho, and you know it. So that pretty much was the end of the Pinnacle. We saw them one more time in the night. They pretty much were cleaning house of Inner Circle's locker room and pretty much removing the sign, putting their new little logo graphic and all that up on the outside door. So that's pretty much it. Look, I love the fact that the Inner Circle is selling this. I love the fact that the writers in AEW went on ahead and said, okay, let's just have these guys be off TV for a little bit. Let's really sell the hell out of this. Now, look, I don't mind. I don't mind the fact that we've got a heel stable that essentially crashed the scene and has essentially annihilated a previous heel stable. Where it gets a little bit, is the fact that, well, wait a minute now. Why should we even feel, if you're that wrestling fan, if you're that AEW fan, why should I feel sympathetic towards the Inner Circle? All the foul, fucked up shit that they've done over the past several months. And all of a sudden, I'm supposed to feel sorry for the Inner Circle? No, if anything, I'm happy that the Inner Circle got theirs, because this was a long time coming. Yeah, you know what? Hey, Pinnacle, beat the living shit out of them. They got exactly what's fucking coming to them. The fans, it's really weird. It's really weird what's going on there, with the Inner Circle. I would have preferred it personally if they still would have went with that original idea that I was mentioning for months now. And that's on the real, which was MJF pretty much makes the Inner Circle implode from within, gets to the point where Jericho is exiled from Inner Circle. You got this great mutiny that's going on, turncoats left and right, and they pretty much just destroy the hell out of Jericho. I would have preferred to see something like that. And then ultimately, I wouldn't have had a problem if MJF, as the new leader of the Inner Circle, I wouldn't have had a problem if eventually he kind of felt as though the tides needed to change a little bit in the Inner Circle, and we still got to that path that we got to with the Pinnacle and them pretty much annihilating Inner Circle. I wouldn't have minded if you did some stuff like that, and then essentially one by one you just started bringing the guys back. I think that would have been cool. But how can a motherfucker feel sorry for a heel stable? I mean, think about it. Other than the Judas song, that's pretty much it. Inner Circle is pretty much getting their booze and everything. So I don't know, that for me, as far as having a little bit of a bone to pick on, that right there. We'll see what happens when Inner Circle comes back. We'll see if... I'll tell you this, though. The last thing you need to be doing is having these guys come back in like 2 weeks. That's the last thing that you need to do. You gotta sell this shit for at least... Just with the Pinnacle running around doing their shit, if these guys are supposed to be the real fucking kings, there's a new king in town, then you need to give them as much rope as humanly possible. And if I were to make a bold prediction, think about this and consider this. And it's a great segue as we'll talk about ratings later on, because I do want to reflect on the ratings that happened for last week's shows and offer my thoughts on what's possibly going to be going down for this week. But consider this. I think that Tony Khan and crew, my best advice to them, for Cody, Tony Khan, everybody involved, don't be so quick to pull the trigger on having the Inner Circle come back. Look at your ratings. Pay very close attention to your ratings. Particularly, pay very close attention to your segments involving the Pinnacle. And combining both of those, if you're able to maintain your regular viewership that you do weekly, or you're able to slightly top it, then that should just prolong bringing the Inner Circle back on TV. You need to buy yourself enough time to really give the Pinnacle the legs that they need to stand on in storyline to prove their dominance and really establish the hell out of them. I mean, the potential is there. A lot of great potential there. But really establish them. And, honestly, in a perfect scenario, like if you were to ask me, well, Lee, how long would you have Inner Circle be off TV? If I could help it, I would have Inner Circle be off TV for almost 2.5 months. That's just me. If I'm really trying to sell this and I'm really trying to get the pinnacle over, that's the type of story time that I would need. If I could have it my way, I would love 3 months. 3 months is really pushing it. I don't know if fans' patience will be that. I don't know if the ratings and all that would be that kind. I think it just really depends, right? But that's how far I would push it and then pretty much go from there. But yeah, that's what I think needs to be the game plan. We'll see how it pans out, though. Jurassic Express. Am I reading this? Yeah, it was Jay Cargill and all that. Danny Jordan. Yep. Next matchup. Jurassic Express, Bear Country versus Private Party, Butcher, Blade, Matt Hardy. About almost 10 minutes of a matchup. Your winners: Matt Hardy, Butcher, Blade, Private Party. Remember, Matt Hardy has that new partnership there with Butcher and the Blade and everything. Okay tag match there. Little okay with tag match. Backstage scene, we see Christian. He brings up the term workhorse and pretty much says, hey, look, y'all know about AEW's reputation. You already know about my reputation. You know that I make wrestling better. Whenever I step in that ring, wrestlers, just myself included, everybody, their game just goes up. The level just goes up. And he puts himself over as the workhorse in professional wrestling. And also notes if anybody have forgot that, he's going to be pretty sure to remind them real quick. He also talks about how he's in AEW for one particular spot that he's very interested in, which is being held by Kenny Omega, and that's the current AEW World Champion. He realizes he's got to put a couple of dubs under his belt and everything, but pretty much crystal clear, that's what he's gunning for. So now the question becomes, what's going to be the first couple of matches we're going to be seeing for Christian on that road to ultimately becoming a AEW World Champion, if that trigger is in fact gonna get pulled. I got a lot to say about Christian, Paul White, Dustin Rhodes. We got to be careful. We got to be careful there, because we're getting to that point where we're starting to rock the boat just a little tiny bit as far as you should have your veterans, no doubt about that. But you also want to make sure that there's great heavy emphasis on this young up-and-coming talent. This future generation of wrestlers that I feel in AEW are going to do a phenomenal job going into the next decade, without a shadow of doubt. But we got to be careful. We got to make sure that it doesn't get to a situation where it literally pulls a page out of the old TNA days. You feel where I'm coming from? So we got to tread lightly when it comes to that. But I'm happy to see Christian get the opportunity, and I can't wait to see what he's going to be able to do with these new, fresh matchups in AEW. We kind of talked about it, if not last week, the week before. We kind of talked about some of the opponents that he could be facing down the line there. I know one of the names I brought up, Jon Moxley. Omega would definitely be a pretty good one. We'd love to see him do some stuff with Darby Allin. Definitely would love to see him lock it up with Scorpio Sky. I think that would be a damn good matchup right there. Wouldn't mind seeing him do something with Sting. Just as far as a straight up wrestling match, don't have to worry about no cinematic shit or anything like that. I mean, Christian, one of your safest workers against the icon Sting. Give me the right storyline. Give me a white hot heel Christian. against a super babyface Sting. That shit would be good. That shit would be good. Gallows, Anderson teaming up, taking on Jon Moxley, Eddie Kingston. Went about almost 10 minutes there. Moxley, Eddie Kingston picking up the dub. Closing moments of that one. Anderson slapped Moxley around. Moxley smacks him right back. Anderson coming right in with the strikes. Eventually, a magic killer attempt was made, but Eddie was there to stop the attack. Gallows went in for an uppercut, but Kingston sent him to the outside. Gallows, Eddie, they're outside, pretty much going into the barricades, brawling and all that good stuff. Anderson locks the head. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Moxley applies a roll-up. He gets the 3 count. Jon Moxley, Eddie Kingston going over there. Okay match. For me, this is obviously just about continuing what's going on there with Moxley, still intertwined there with Omega and trying to figure out his way back into the championship scene and all that. So I really didn't mind it like that, but it's just as far as tag team action, all that goes. I mean, yeah, it was okay. Nothing really special. Just, it was all right. Let's see. Fast forward here. Post match. Now this is where things get interesting. Remember what I was talking about earlier with Omega, Don Callis, and all that. So post match, Gallows and Anderson. They didn't like the fact that they lost, so they did gang up on Kingston. They ganged up a little bit on Moxley, and Omega comes out with Don Callis. Omega actually pulls up a steel chair, sets it up in the middle of the ring, sits down, and he's talking mad trash to Moxley, and he's just, I believe he was smacking him a little bit there, smacking him up. Eddie Kingston broke free, and he actually attacked Omega. Gallows, Anderson, they pretty much save his ass. Nice little beatdown. Then you see the Bucks. The Bucks come out there and everything, do their best to try to clean house. Omega pretty pissed off because he's trying to figure out, wait a minute, we're supposed to be the elite. Like, whose side are you on here? What the hell is going on? And he's actually trying to have the Bucks throw up the too sweet sign, but the Bucks, they not having it. They're pretty pissed off at what Omega and the Good Brothers are doing. Callis tries to go in there, try to smooth things out, but Young Bucks ain't having it. They actually try to leave out the ring. Omega actually grabs Matt, turns him around hard. He's talking mad trash to him, and he's like, what the hell's going on here? He's actually, pointing at him. I think he points at his head too, as a matter of fact, now I'm thinking about it. And, he's trying to, smooth it out, trying to get that too sweet and everything. Matt reluctantly leaves out of the ring there, so that's where things pretty much stood with that. Come back after a commercial break. Tony Schiavone once again with Sting! So we have our weekly case of Sting in a promo somehow getting interrupted. And this week, no exception. Sting interrupted once again. This was a Darby Allin Sting moment right here. And Sting, Darby Allin, they get interrupted by Lance Archer and Jake Roberts. Jake Roberts coming in with the one-liners there on Darby Allin, calling him a bun. Ain't he cold? Don't he need to go look for his buns because he's a wiener? Some stupid shit like that. I'm like, damn, Jake, get him, dog, get him. But then Lance Archer pretty much regurgitating what he did last week. I mean, it was no different than what happened last week. So obviously we're getting to that point where there's going to be a match there. But I mean, seriously, we can't have this happen again on Dynamite where Sting's doing an interview and Lance Archer, like, the time for interruptions is like, okay, we just need to throw down already. Like fuck this. So Schiavone tries to get back to the interview, but then Team Taz comes out. Obviously, they got some unfinished business from the Revolution pay-per-view, but Brian Cage grabs the microphone from Taz and tells Sting, hey, what we did going back and forth in that brutal match, that brutal fight that we had at Revolution. Look, I don't care what Ricky Starks says. As far as I'm concerned, you got my respect. You're still the icon. And you just had Team Taz erupt in fury on my man Brian Cage. I don't know who said it. I don't know if it was Starks or if it was Hobbs, but one of them said real loud. One of them said real fucking loud, Are you on drugs? Are you high? What's wrong with you? I laughed my ass off at that spot, man, because it was like just the way the line was delivered. It's like, so obviously you got a little situation right there where okay, whoa. Brian Cage said what? Like, what the hell is wrong with Brian Cage? And you got Brian Cage, you could hear him. He says, I call it how I see it. So you can't help but look at that and wonder, okay, so are we slightly maybe seeing the beginning of the end of Brian Cage in Team Taz there? Like what the hell's going on there? So that's a nice little ruffle in the feathers there for Team Taz. I'm very curious to see where things are going to be going with that one. See, next up, Rey Fenix taking on Angelico. I actually did not see this match. This is actually the match that I tuned out. And I normally don't tune out on a Rey Fenix match. I actually tuned out on this one. I think I was watching, I actually was watching NXT a little bit more during that one. So unfortunately, I cannot comment on that one. But as far as who won that one, Rey Fenix did pick up the dub. That much I do remember. Let's see here. Let's continue on here. Next matchup. From there, fifth matchup of the evening and the main event match of the night, the lights out match between Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa. Let me tell you this straight up, man. 9 days! 9 days! 9 days! 9! I'm just kidding. And if you guys are wondering why am I kirking out with you had to have watched AEW Dark Elevation on Monday, you'll get it. It's a Tony Khan reference. But anyway, let me tell you something, and I put this message out on social media, and I stand right by it. I'm very proud of the match that these two women put on tonight. Really, I am. I love that they went out there and those girls just brought the fucking house down. They tore it up. All the other matches that was on this card tonight, I'm not over-exaggerating when I say this, but all the matches that they had on the card tonight, these women went out there. They put those matches to shame. This match felt like a pay-per-view quality type of a match. You could feel the energy. You can feel the passion from these women as they went into this. All on the line. Let's go. Let's just get loose. Let's just get stupid. Let's get jiggy with it. And I loved every single moment of this lights out match. What they did tonight wasn't just a great representation of AEW's women's roster, but it was also an excellent representation of the current state and where we are overall for the women's wrestling industry. Furthermore, the fact that these women were able to close out Dynamite, that just shows you how much respect that and game that upper management has for Thunder Rosa and for Britt Baker. Now, just really take a step back and think about that for a second. Home in on Britt Baker. Just a year ago, Britt Baker struggling, trying to find herself, getting ridiculed online, memes, left and right. I mean, man, this girl was going through some brutal criticism. Brutal criticism. Not constructive criticism. Brutal criticism on social media, forums, you name it. Me and maybe 3 other podcasters said, nah, you know what? There's a lot of potential. And I definitely was swinging that flag left and right for Britt Baker. I said, she has a lot of potential. You can see it. It's there. She just has to stay consistent. If she's, my whole message consistently on the shows, if she's that serious about mastering the craft and everything, she should get better. She will get better. Remember the promos? Man, the promos were just a year ago. The promos were just the in-ring ability. You could see the potential. Everything just needed, like putting something in the oven. I just need this to bake just a little bit longer. Not ready just yet. It's going to taste really good, though, when it does finally come out the oven, but it's not ready just yet. Let it bake a little bit more. Close the door. Britt Baker was pretty much kind of like that baked good in that oven. And she is really, really finding her fucking stride now. As far as most improved wrestler for the year of 2020, fucking yeah. She definitely gets that award, hands down. She is proving to me by the week why she should be the face of AEW's women's division. And the fact that we are not there yet. Oh, sorry about that. The fact that we are not there yet with her as the face of the women's division and her being the champion, it's just kind of one of those you're scratching your head and, perfect world, she'd be the AEW champion right now, and she would have a nice, long, lengthy reign until I felt, okay, you know what? We've built her up to the absolute maximum. Now, who are we going to have dethrone her? There'd be a big deal out of her being dethroned and everything. I can't sing enough praise. Of all the matches tonight on Dynamite, I would say, that's the one. If you didn't watch Dynamite tonight, or you hear anything that I'm saying about Dynamite tonight, and you want to just home in on just one particular thing, and you didn't watch Dynamite this week yet, watch the main event between Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa. That, for me, I got my little folder, man. That match of the year candidate for AEW. For sure. And the fact that there was blood in there. I love the sick ass spot where there was the fire thunder driver through the fucking table. Oh my God. Jesus fucking Christ, what a main event. That was just fucking insane. And to just think this is pretty much going head to head with NXT's main event where it's Karrion Kross and Finn Balor teaming up to take on the NXT Tag Team Champions. And these girls were putting on a more entertaining, riveting matchup and look, that ain't no disrespect to my guys on NXT. Karrion Kross is fucking money. Karrion Kross is a fucking beast. He is going to be a bona fide main event player. I mean, he's a main event player right now. But, it's going to be solidified times infinity and beyond when he finally does come up to the main roster and everything. No shade to Finn Balor. No shade. What they put on tonight of a match was good, but just what those girls did tonight, yeah. No, hands down. Hands down. Holy balls. Holy shit is all I got to say. Damn good main event. Great pay-per-view quality. It almost justifies what I had said when we were doing the AEW Revolution post show. You guys recall, because Britt Baker had a match, but it was on the pre-show. Remember what I said? I said, nah, this girl, why is she even on the pre-show? If anything, match that she had there, it should have made it to the actual pay-per-view card there. What the hell? This match alone easily could have been put on a pay-per-view. I'm glad AEW didn't. Look, as far as overall ratings, I would not be that surprised if not only was this match the highest rated segment of the entire night and everything, but I wouldn't be surprised if just that match alone pretty much gives AEW the victory for this week. That's how fucking confident. And look, that's not crazy, because remember, just a couple of weeks ago, what was it? 864,000 viewers for the segment / match that Britt Baker had against Nyla Rose. So, and remember, I said that was the highest rated segment out of everything that was on Dynamite for that week. So just imagine what's possibly going to be going down this week. But pretty solid Dynamite. Because really of that, and I would say, I'm just looking at the rest of the card here. I'll give an honorable mention to Cody and Penta El Zero. I'll give an honorable mention to that, but like, I mean, other than that, I was like, I'm good. I love seeing that spot with Miro talking with Kip Sabian backstage and pretty much telling him, hey man, look, you always gonna be my boy and everything, but when that bell rings, I don't care about you. I don't care about your wife. I don't care about your family. I'm all about getting the win. That's what matters to me. I came to this company because I want to be a world heavyweight champion, and Sabian's like, hey, I want that for you as well, no doubt. Because Sabian was a little mad at Miro for that spot that went down at Revolution where Penelope Ford, had took that bump and everything. And Miro, in his own nice way, look, I'm be honest with you, man. If you're that concerned about your wife and everything, maybe you need to strongly consider whether or not you want to be at the ring and you want to be wrestling and everything. He's like, trust me, last thing you need to be, focusing on is, your wife at ringside and all that. Trust me, I learned from experience. So that was a nice little nod and everything to what was going on with WWE and everything in the past. Look, the potential is there for Miro. It is. And I'm sure that Penelope Ford and them, I'm sure they probably had made their rounds checking out what Jim Cornette had to say and everything. I know we talked about it at great length on Monday, but you shouldn't let the opinions of one individual. But I will say this, Jim Cornette, to his credit, he's seen a lot. He's been through a lot. If you're trying to figure out the keys to success, he's got to be the one guy that honestly will tell you how it is. He ain't going to sugarcoat it. It's going to sting. It's definitely going to hurt your feelings. But at least he's going to give it to you. And, you take that information and you do with it as you may. Would you rather have that, or would you rather be surrounded by a bunch of yes people and also, be in a position where it's like, whatever gets you by, as long as you're getting paid, right? What do I always tell you guys? Quality, not quantity. So, I like what I've been seeing as of late from this Miro, and I'm curious to see how far it's going to go. Because when he first came into AEW, he just, that's all I got to say. He seemed kind of lost there. I didn't know what the hell was going on. It seemed like he was having a little bit of identity crisis there going on. But yeah, AEW for this week, kind of meh overall. Other than that one match, kind of meh overall. Oh, how are we doing on Showtime? So we had a little bit of a false start. So I would say we've been on the air for about maybe about an hour, 4 minutes or something like that. So not too shabby so far. You guys been enjoying the show so far. Do me a huge favor. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up or that like. Helps out a ton. Especially via YouTube. Helps out a ton. Appreciate that. Get into some Patreon shout outs. Patreon.com/RCWR Show. Check out bonus audio video content you won't be able to find anywhere else. Shout out to Anthony DeBlasi. Shout out to Gino Morgan. Shout out to Freddie. Shout out to Justin Ripstock. Shout out to Michael Wolf. Shout out to J.D. Davis. I just had to say it like that. I just felt like saying it like that for this week. Also, shout out to Tony Bing Gaming, one of the very latest on all things Marvel Strike Force, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, Marvel's Avengers by Square Enix, tips, tricks, news, walkthroughs, and reviews. Check out Tony Bing Gaming. He's on YouTube. He's got a Patreon channel as well. Shout out to my good friend over at Wishful Walking Videos. Check him out on YouTube. Also, special shout out to Cynic Alex. Cynic Alex. Love that dude. He covers nothing but all things. Marvel. What is it? Is it Marvel? Is it Marvel? No, it's not Marvel Future Fight. It's if you bear with me a second, I can actually tell you. And I think I actually did remember the game right. Let me see here, because I actually got it loading up right now. Because I always get this one mixed up with another Marvel game that I play. And yeah, no, I remembered it right. Marvel, hang on a second. Yeah, I did remember it right. Marvel Future Fight. Shout out to Cynic Alex, because he mainly covers a lot of Marvel Future Fight. And I don't know what was going on, but apparently he was having a bad day. So I don't know how many of you guys actually follow him and all that, but you maybe want to send some love his way on his YouTube channel. I'm sure he definitely would appreciate it. He recently did a kind of like a 2-part video, really a 3-part video, but he had broke down the newest update where the Defenders have crashed the scene in the new update. So Luke Cage has a new uniform. Jessica Jones has a new uniform. Daredevil has a new uniform. Iron Fist has a new uniform. I believe Iron Fist and Daredevil are now awakened characters. There's now a Mephisto Dark Realm boss fight that you guys can do now. Like, whoa, what the fuck? I haven't even fucked with the null joint yet. So, like, what the hell? Now we got Mephisto. Like, shit. So, crazy, man. Fucking crazy. But check that out. Appreciate all those guys. Love those guys tremendously. So where do we go now? Do we talk NXT or I did kind of have something AEW related I wanted to get into. Maybe we can save it after we get done talking about NXT. Yeah, maybe we can do it then. Let's talk NXT for now, though. All right. So NXT, one of the first big pieces of news that was revealed to us tonight at the NXT Stand and Deliver. That's what I always say when I'm ready for sex. Stand and deliver. Our main event match for NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. Finn Balor defending that NXT World Heavyweight Championship against The End Is Near. Fall and pray, Karrion Kross. That's going to be a insane, killer fucking main event match. I'm looking forward to that. matchup. You guys have no fucking idea. I'm super fucking ecstatic for that matchup. Kicking off NXT tonight. Finn Balor starts off the show. Talks about how he's beaten every single person that's been put in front of him. And now it's essentially Karrion Kross's time, as he feels his time is going to be up at this takeover event. Karrion, Scarlett Bordeaux, They hear that. They come on out. And they basically lay claim that, hey, everybody needs to know who the real champion is. And, that's pretty much me. And Finn Balor counters right back. No. Everybody's going to know at TakeOver that the real champion is going to be me, because at the end, you're going to choke. So, yeah, Finn Balor telling Karrion Kross he's going to choke. Scarlett chimes in and she talks about how she saw this in her dream, so to speak. She saw this in a vision where both men were dressed in gold. So, you're hearing that and you're saying to yourself, wait a minute. So what does that mean exactly? Like, is she maybe seeing them as a tag team and they got tag team championship gold? Or does maybe Karrion Kross become the North American champion or something? And Balor still has, like, what does she mean by that? So you're kind of thinking about that a couple of different ways. Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan, they come crashing the scene. They're putting over their boy, the best technical wrestler in the world, Pete Dunne, who they feel can beat both of these guys. Scarlett makes the suggestion, hey, y'all should put up your titles against Karrion Kross and Finn Balor tonight. And they're like, man, please, ain't nobody trying to hear that. Like you crazy. Like, ain't nobody trying to hear that. Whatever. And so she actually, I kind of got to pull a fucking Creedence Clearwater Revival, I put a spell on you because you're mine. She pretty much just went up to these guys, kind of rubbed up on them a little bit. I'm just thinking of that damn song. Feel a little poke coming through on you. Now, girl, I can't help it. Ooh, I felt it. You know what I wanna do. Oh, you getting real close. You're making it hard for me. Y'all know that R&B song I'm talking about. Y'all still push that song to this very day. So she pretty much does that fucking next song. And all of a sudden, these guys just totally forget about, how crazy of an idea that would be. And they just, yeah, we can beat you guys. Yeah. They flipped the script real quick. So our main event match is set. Them boys going to be defending the NXT tag titles against Kross and Balor. First matchup of the evening, Austin Theory taking on Dexter Lumis. They being Gargano and Candice, they gave Austin a pep talk before this match happened via tablet. And they pretty much, hey, you got this. Don't fall for his mental games. You got this. Go out there, get it done. Da. And one cool spot, there's one moment in the match where Lumis and Theory, they're looking at each other. And I remember, I think Dexter Lumis knocked Theory on his ass or some shit like that. And then he offers a hand up. And Austin's looking at him. He's like, I knew it. I knew I could trust you. I knew you and me were friends. See, they were wrong about you. I tried to tell them. I knew. I just knew. And then he hugs him. He's just hugging the shit out of Dexter. Dexter then just immediately goes for the silence. And Theory tries to fight out of it, but Dexter ends up countering it with the TKO, turning it into the silence, picks up the dub. Good little match. It was a good little opener of a match right there. Yeah, I love this tease of did Dexter Lumis do something? Because I want to know, what exactly did Dexter Lumis do to Austin Theory there? Did he go Heidenreich on his ass like Heidenreich and Michael Cole? I mean, remember that? Michael Cole would you like to hear a poem? And you got Michael Cole. No, I'm really good. And he just insists that Michael Cole listens to his poem, and you're just like, what happened behind closed doors there between Michael Cole and Heidenreich? Like, what exactly did Dexter Lumis do with Austin Theory when Theory was captive there for a hot minute? Like curious minds want to know. You know who I was missing from this though? My girl Indy Hartwell. I would have loved to have seen her at ringside cheering on Austin Theory and everything, or pretend cheering Austin Theory, but at the same time winking and all that other usual shit she's been doing to Loomis the past couple of weeks. Backstage segment, Tommaso Ciampa's talking to Mackenzie Mitchell, and he's pretty much talking about find Marcel and Fabian and see if they've seen Alexander Wolf lately. And basically, this is kind of like a prelude to what's going to happen a little bit later on, as there was a pretty good match I want to tell you guys about, but that's coming up in a little bit. Adam Cole appeared in the ring next. He still has his issues with Kylie O'Reilly, talking hot trash on him and everything, demands that he comes out so they can finish what they started. William Regal interrupts and says to Cole, hey, you know damn well that isn't going to happen, because sadly Kylie O'Reilly is not clear to compete at this time, and as a result he's not here. He's injured as of right now. However, Kylie O'Reilly did appear via Titantron, and pretty much going over the whole friendship and 11 years pretty much down the drain, talking about how he was willing to do anything for Adam. But I mean, damn, 11 years of friendship and pretty much it's now out the window. What the hell? Storm. Why am I thinking Storm? Oh, I was thinking Cowboy James Storm for some reason. I don't know why. Not even talking Impact yet. Forgive me, guys. Cole, he pretty much stormed off and said, you know what? All right, I see how it is. O'Reilly, you going to try to get me? No, not if I can get you first. So that's pretty much how that went. Breezango back in action. Great seeing Breezango on TV yet again. Breezango taking on Legado del Fantasma. Legado del Fantasma picking up the dub. About 10 minutes of a matchup. Santos Escobar post-match grabbed the mic and talked about how he's been hearing a lot about Jordan Delvin, but hasn't seen him. Delvin actually, entrance and all, he had appeared holding up the Cruiserweight title as he made his way down to the ring. He says Santos has been lying to everyone by calling himself the champion. Meanwhile, you got Escobar saying to Jordan Delvin, well, if you were here and you were defending that title, then what ultimately happened with me wouldn't have occurred in the first place. So now you got this dilemma here where you got a champion that, never was really stripped of the title, so to speak, against. So, well, nice little dilemma that we got right there. Dakota Kai taking on Zoe Stark. This actually was my favorite match of the night for NXT. Besides the main event, this actually was really, really good. I'm taking a strong liking to Zoe Stark, who we had talked about. We already went over her background a couple of weeks ago and everything. Her and Dakota Kai have flowed pretty damn well together in this matchup. I enjoyed both of these girls. But Zoe, I'm taking a strong liking to. Is anybody else kind of seeing that resemblance that I was talking about with Zoe Stark? If I remember correctly, I believe last week or maybe the week before, I had said Zoe Stark kind of has that Linda Hamilton meets 7 of 9 from Star Trek combo going thing. It's a cool ass combo. I personally think really cool ass. Dakota Kai picking up the dub. Post match, Kai is talking mad trash to Stark until Io Shirai comes out, goes face to face with Dakota, but ignores her to push past her and shoves a contract onto Raquel. It's like, you know, hey, here's that match. You said you down for facing me for the NXT Women's Championship. Here you go. Put your signature on the paper. You know, put it on paper. Let's make it happen. And she left the ring, Io Shirai, she left the ring while helping Zoe Stark there. So, Marcel Barthel. What kind of a name is that? Marcel Barthel. That Barthel part, it kind of sounds like somebody's getting ready to puke or something. You know, like you hear barf, but it's like Barthel. You know, he's like, oh my God, he's gonna Barthel. Like Marcel Barthel took on Tommaso Ciampa. Pretty much very short matchup here. Really short. I mean, it was barely 3 minutes, if even that. Ciampa picking up the win. Celebration cut short. Walter comes to the scene. This was pretty much a fucking beatdown by the Imperial guys. I mean, his ass was left. Ciampa, that is. His ass was left stretched out. Walter gave Ciampa a nice, sick-ass little stiff powerbomb at that. That pretty much was the end of that. Outside, William Regal, outside the compound, or the grounds there of the Performance Center, or CWC, William Regal finds Adam Cole and Kylie O'Reilly. They're arguing by cars, and there's apparently cops involved, as both men appear to be in handcuffs the way it's looking. We see Adam Cole, you know, he's outside and he's behind a vehicle. He's in handcuffs. Meanwhile, Kylie O'Reilly, he's in a black, you know, SUV or whatever. But there were squad lights on, so that's how you knew it was basically police. But William Regal, he's trying to figure out what the hell did his boys do here, and he's trying to rectify the situation. Later on in the night, William Regal would reveal that if both men would drop charges against each other, then basically their beef, it'll be settled once and for all, as these two men will have a match. And basically he wants for both men to show up on next week's NXT so they can talk about how they can find a solution to this. You pretty much know this is going to be a setup for NXT Stand and Deliver, the takeover event. So that's pretty much how that's going down. August Gray took on the debuting LA Knight. Short matchup. LA Knight picking up the dub. You know, go for him. It's still relatively early, though, with regards to LA Knight. Once again, no Cameron Grimes. We did get a little spot where there was pictures of him. He was on a beach swimming with, I don't know, sharks or whatever the fuck was going on there. But once again, there was no Cameron Grimes. I kind of tolerated the fact that we got GYV in a backstage segment. Something that was post-production, basically. Didn't mind that. You know, didn't really care for that. They only talked for like about 20 seconds. I didn't really mind that, but kind of noticed the trends that's going on there. And they're kind of trimming it back there with the GYV and Cameron Grimes there. Even though I think Cameron Grimes is starting to find his stride there from an entertainment standpoint. LA Knight, though, did anybody else have shades of The Rock? I mean, that's probably like the first time I ever had thought The Rock when I was looking at LA Knight / Eli Drake. Just the way he was talking backstage there. It was just, I just had got a Rocky vibe. I don't know why. But furthermore, I don't know why it took so many years for me to just now, because one could make the argument, well, he's always kind of sound like a fake ass Rock. But I don't know, there's just something extra about tonight that made me he kind of has a Rocky vibe tonight. Other than that, your NXT Tag Team Championship match between Danny Burch, Orny Lorcan defending against Finn Balor, NXT. Good main event matchup. You know, you're kind of looking at this and you're going, okay, is the trigger really going to be pulled, or are we really going to get new tag team champions right here? Like what exactly is going to be going down here? So let's pick it up. Final moments of this one, pretty much Karrion Kross, he flipped the fuck out. I mean, he had himself an Incredible Hulk moment, so to speak, if you will. That's the best way I could sum this up. All right, so let's pick it up. Finn Balor, he's fighting with Oney Lorcan. Oney somehow knocks Kross off the apron. Finn is pretty much going in with the chops on Oney Lorcan, connects with the sling blade outside as medics are checking up on Danny Burch. Does that trademark John Woo drop kick that ends up sending Oney Lorcan into Scarlet. And Scarlet just did a good job selling the hell out of that. By the way, Scarlet, very attractive as always. Finn is looking, a little bit concerned, like, oh shit, I hope she's okay, because that was fucking unintentional. Like, what the fuck? And he's actually, trying to go help her and everything. And she's laughing her ass off. I mean, she's looking at him, eyes locked, and she's laughing at his fucking face. Karrion Kross, just out of nowhere, attacks the shit out of Finn Balor. No bullshit, attacks the shit out of him. And pretty much drove Finn Balor head first into the plexiglass before sending him back into the ring. Oney Lorcan pretty much picked up the scraps, gets the dub that way. Post-match, Kross just lays everybody the fuck out. And it pretty much ends with Karrion Kross standing tall, Scarlet right beside him. Like, man, is that going to be a taste of things to come at TakeOver Stand and Deliver? That's pretty much how NXT had went off. I'm happy that in this case we didn't get new tag champions, because it's just way too predictable. And then also at the same time, not needed. Seriously, not needed. Honestly, now that we got Breezango back in the house and everything, I mean, who knows? Cooler things have happened, crazier things have happened, but I personally wouldn't mind seeing Breezango maybe feud with Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch for those NXT tag titles. I would not mind seeing those guys become tag champions once again. Great chemistry, love those guys. What was the little joint that they did on SmackDown? What was it, the Fashion Files or something like that? I missed that. I need to bring that back. It actually was pretty damn good. I love that. But now I'm glad that they didn't pull the trigger on that and make those guys tag champions. I'm glad that didn't happen. I'm trying to think if there was anything else with regards to NXT tonight. Really nothing else. Again, this was another one of those, other than the main event match, Zoe Stark's taking on Dakota Kai. Everything else was just, man, both shows this week, very average shows this week. Now, let's talk about the ratings. Yeah, let's talk about the ratings. So the ratings for last week's show, and I had did pretty damn good with regards to the ratings for last week. As a matter of fact, I believe I still can actually pull it up in the comment section on YouTube. Yeah, if you guys ever want to see my predictions and you miss out on the show initially, you can always just go to the YouTube channel and click on the communities tab, and you can see what I'm talking about with the ratings here. Let me see if I mentioned it. Okay, so nothing on the communities tab. Bear with me a second here. Let me actually see if I can pull it up on Twitter. I know for a fact I have brought it up on Twitter. So let me see if I can actually pull that up for you guys here. And yes, I got it. Okay, so remember for last week's AEW Dynamite and NXT, AEW for last week, I predicted they would do 862,075 viewers. And remember, this is pretty much fresh off of Revolution, a little bit of the hangover with Shaquille O'Neal. I was also considering that, the Shaquille O'Neal factor and everything. And for NXT, since last week was their Champions Edition, remember what I said? I said on last week's show, easily they should be able to be in the low 700s. And I said for NXT, 704,015. The official ratings for last week, AEW hit 743,000. I repeat, 743,000. And for NXT, 691,000. I mean, just really stop and think about that for a second, guys and gals. Just really stop and think about that for a second. You had every single championship on the line on NXT last week. Sure, maybe with some of the matches, you could make the argument, well, you know what? You got these matches going on, but it doesn't really feel as though we're going to be getting new champions. So, yeah, but, thanks anyway. You could kind of make that argument. But then at the same time, but still, like, this is a Champions Edition. The dust has settled from Revolution and everything. You should easily be able to command 700,000. Low 700,000. Easy. For AEW, you're going, man, with Shaquille O'Neal, you actually had hit 1 million, and your overall was pretty much, what was it, like 904,000 or some shit like that. Like, no. I had predicted they would do 904,000, and I believe they ended up doing 934,000 viewers. So, I was pretty close there. But it's like, okay, so 934,000, and yet we go to last week, and last week was just 743,000. Wasn't a good week for pro wrestling on Wednesday night. And look, if the reports are true about NXT going to Tuesdays, good. I feel sorry for Impact Wrestling, because that's definitely going to cut into their numbers for sure. It's definitely going to cut into their numbers drastically. But pulling in these type of numbers for NXT, maybe it's a good thing. If the trigger is going to be pulled on them going to Tuesday nights, fine. Yeah, go ahead and do that. Maybe at the same time, that'll mean that AEW will essentially continue to stay, at least you would think they would be able to continue to stay in that 800. Maybe they can start seeing that 900,000 range on a regular basis. I mean, who knows? Have to wait and see on that one. But let's break this down a little bit further for you guys with regards to last week's ratings and everything. And it's a good segue to talk about what I think is going to happen with the ratings for this week and everything. So check this out. So for last week's AEW Dynamite, as far as the placement for the night in the 18 to 49 demographic, they pretty much had did AEW, that is, they pretty much had did a 0.32. Okay, not too shabby. NXT, meanwhile, a 0.18. Not too shabby. Dynamite was good enough for fourth place of the night, while NXT came in at rank 25. So here's the quarter by quarter breakdown. For AEW, Matt Jackson, Ray Phoenix, 756,000 viewers. Quarter 2, end of Jackson versus Phoenix, Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston promo, Cody Rhodes squash match and segment with Penta El Zero Miedo, 751,000. Quarter 3, Best Friends promo, Sting and Lance Archer segment, QT Marshall interviews Ethan Page, QT Marshall interview Ethan Page versus Lee Johnson, 757,000 viewers. So you see that little pattern so far? So you're at 756,000, then you go down to 751, and then you go slightly up to 757,000. But watch this. Quarter 4, end of Johnson versus Page / Adam Page and Dark Order promo / Kenny Omega and Good Brothers entrance, 719,000 viewers. So it went down there. Quarter 5, Omega promo and brawl with Moxley, Kingston, and Christian Cage, 6-woman tag team match, 758,000. Quarter 6, end of Nyla Rose, Britt Baker, and Maki Itoh versus Shida, Real Mizunami, and Thunder Rosa / Matt Hardy promo / Darby Allin versus Scorpio Sky, 697,000. Home in on that. Quarter 5 was 758,000. And then you go to that next quarter segment, you drop significantly to 697,000. You went down 61,000. End of Allen versus Sky, you go up 700 to, what's that, 766,000. So you went up 69,000. So it's almost kind of like your fans tuned out, but came back when they felt it was the end. And your final segment, Inner Circle War Council, 742,000. So look at that pattern. Look at that pattern. So you have 756,000. Then you go down 751. Then you go slightly up 757,000. Then you go down 719,000. Then you go up 758,000. Then you go down significantly 697,000. Then you go back up 766,000. So you pretty much went up by about 21,000 right there. And then for your Inner Circle joint, you went down by about 24,000. So it's like a constant little, staying in a certain gauge range there, not too shabby, but still a little bit disappointing there. Now, check out NXT. William Regal's announcement / unveiling of NXT women's tag titles, 740,000 viewers. Quarter 2, Io Shirai versus Toni Storm / Finn Balor promo, 751,000. All right, so you went up there. Quarter 3, LA Knight interview / Pete Dunne versus Jake Atlas / Imperium promo, 679,000. What a significant decrease there. You went down by 72,000. Leon Ruff interview / Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez versus Amber Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. That's your quarter 4 segment. 683,000. You went up only by about 4,000. Quarter 5, end of Kai and Gonzalez versus Moon and Black / Adam Cole interview / The Way promo, 685,000. You went up, not by much, you went up by about 2,000. Quarter 6, Xia Li versus Kaden Carter / Jordan Delvin promo / Zoe Stark video / Santos Escobar promo, 685,000 viewers. So you're pretty much staying even right there. So you're maintaining your viewership right there. Okay, that's not bad. Grizzled Young Veterans versus Legado del Fantasma / Shirai Challenge / Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher interview / Finn Balor versus Adam Cole, 639,000. You went down 46,000. Anything involving the Grizzled Young Vets usually goes down. And your final segment, Cole versus Balor, 631,000. This went down by 8,000. So despite the fact that it's Cole, Balor, classic matchup right here, and it's for the NXT Championship. The fact that you weren't even able to at least be in the 700,000 there, that's kind of like, what the hell? But wait. Here is where NXT had really shined the most. And this is the real interesting telltale. The overrun. Because remember, AEW Dynamite goes off promptly at 10 p.m. Meanwhile, NXT has an overrun of about 5 to 8 minutes. The overrun of Cole versus Balor / Kylie O'Reilly attacking Cole / Karrion Kross confronts Balor. 814,000 viewers. So they went up by 183,000. Now just stop and think about that. Minus that overrun, you have 631,000 compared to AEW's final segment of the Inner Circle War Council, which was 742,000. Just guys talking in the ring, basically. And Cole versus Balor could not at least break into the 700s there. But they found a nice, kind of like, if you can help me out, I need a couple of votes here and there. If you can help me out, I could really use the assistance. NXT getting a little bit of an assistance once Dynamite goes off the air, because you got a good amount of fans. Those are your channel. I'll raise my hand proudly. Those are your channel surfer, your flip-floppers there. They keep changing the channel back and forth, back, forth, back, forth, and back and forth, right? So, I don't know. You just look at that, and you just can't help but say, nah, you know what? Yeah, maybe going to another night altogether, yeah, maybe it would definitely help out the NXT product there. So, rumor is if it is going to happen, it's going to be going down pretty much after WrestleMania. So we'll see how that pans up. But as far as what I'm thinking for ratings for this week, I am going to say, and I'm actually pulling out my notepad here, and I'll tell you in a second. Let me just get my notepad here. I'm going to say for AEW, I am going to say I'm going to say AEW 761,000. AEW 761,100. NXT, I am going to say NXT, I'm going to say 600. Definitely see them in the 600 range. I'm going to say let me look at this here. I'm going to say 600 and I'm going to say 665,000. 665,000. All right, so one more time. AEW, I'm seeing for this week 761,100. NXT, I'm seeing 665,000. So when you add both of those, let's combine both viewership numbers there. So we got the 761,000. Add that with the 665,000. So that's basically over 1,426,000 fans. So definitely down compared to last week there. But that's how I'm looking at it. So we'll see. And if you're staying connected to me on social media, you guys know you're going to get the hookup when it comes to the ratings and all that, because I always react on social media to the numbers. So make sure you pay attention to that. All right. But once again, Finn Balor defends the NXT title against Karrion Kross at TakeOver Stand and Deliver April 7th on the USA Network, Peacock, and it's going to be a WWE network. You know what? No. Yeah, no, I said that right. It's gonna be on Peacock, and it's also gonna be on USA and the through the WWE Network and all that. By the way, friendly reminder. Can't stress it enough. If you haven't done so already, you got until the 18th. So the 18th, you can do it, but you want to act fast. If you have not migrated over to NBC's Peacock for the WWE Network, now's the time you need to do it, because for the next 4 months, you guys will be able to get the WWE Network on Peacock for just $2.99 a month. I repeat, for just $2.99 a month. That's basically, after taxes, $10.69. That's it. Upon the 5th month going forward, all you're going to pay for the WWE Network / Peacock, $4.99. That's it. $4.99. You can't beat that. You cannot beat that. So make sure, if you haven't done so already, you sign up. WWE actually has a FAQ section on their site with regards to the network. So for those of you that maybe had got a gift card for somebody, the WWE Network gift card subscription, or if it was a case where maybe you had let your subscription renew and obviously you got some weeks left, like, what the hell's happening here? Am I going to get credited? How is that going to work out? Short answer, yes. But make sure you check out the FAQ section there, as they did address that. So check that out when you guys get a chance. Let's see. How we doing on Showtime, by the way? Not too bad. We got about an hour 50. As far as headlines go, not really too much has happened since last we were on the air. Suri is coming to NXT. We saw a little vignette of her tonight. She's coming to NXT. Japanese wrestler, 23, 24 years of age. And she was making appearances for the World Woman Pro Wrestling Diana. And, this is somebody that I still need to research a little bit more here, because this name just kind of took me kind of off guard here. So by next week, I'll definitely know a lot more about this girl. But it's nice to see that as far as the whole diversity and all that goes. It's nice to see that NXT / WWE is continuing to expand there. So, but that's that. And let's see, what else has been going on since last we were on air with you guys? You know what? This one I thought was interesting. I don't know if you guys had saw this, but I can't help but wonder if there's going to be some cease and desist letters that's going to be happening as a result of this. But Mickie James, Victoria, SoCal Val, they announced this auction that they're dubbing Dresselmania that's going to benefit charity. And they're setting this up through something that's dubbed GAW, Grown Ass Women, and GAW TV. And they announced the first ever Dresselmania that's going to benefit the girlup.org for charity. This is something that is going to be on Fight TV that you guys will be able to check out and everything. Now, when you hear that, you can't help but wonder, well, wait a minute, isn't Mickie James still under contract to the WWE? Like, WWE gave the green light for this? They're going to allow Mickie James to do this? Like, what they don't have a problem with her doing this thing, and this is pretty much going to be on Fight TV and all that? Like, they don't have Now, if you guys recall, there was one time a couple of years ago where WrestleMania, I think it was a WrestleMania joint. I have to rely on you guys, but I remember WrestleMania was available on Fight TV. I think it was the one with Undertaker versus AJ Styles. I think that 2-night event was available on Fight TV. So, I can't help but wonder if, in this case, WWE was like, well, you know what? It's for charity and it's only going to be available through this outlet. So people are really going to have to go out of their way to, let's go ahead, let that slide. But still, when you think about third party deals, things of that nature, you feel where I'm coming from. It's a little sticky right there. So I'm watching that very, very closely because I can't help but wonder if WWE's lawyers are maybe gonna get involved in that and say, hey, Mickey James, no, sorry, you can't do that. What's going on right there? So stay tuned for that, because that's definitely something I would say kind of just have that in the back of your mind going forward. Other than that, give me a second here. Other than that, I don't really think there's anything else. AEW Dark's lineup for this week, it had 15 matches. I won't spoil the results for you guys, but Tisha Price took on Penelope Ford. John Schuyler took on John Silver. SCU's Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian took on Charlie Bravo and Aaron Solau. Vert Vixen took on M.O.T.Y. Jorel Nelson and Royce Isaacs faced the Varsity Blondes. Luchasaurus took on Caesar Bonani. Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela faced Ricky Starks and Brian Cage. Kaylin King took on Jasmine Allure. Layla Hirsch squared off against Savannah Evans. Jack Evans went toe-to-toe with 10. D3 came head-to-head with Nick Cormado. Chaos Project, Luther and Serpentinko, faced Fuego del Sol and Jack St. Patrick. Bear Country faced Dean Alexander and Brick Aldridge. Angel Fashion, Baron Black, Vari Morales, and Ryzen faced the Dark Orders, Colt Cabana, Evo Uno, Stu Grayson, and Alan Angels. Gun Club's Billy Austin and Colton Gunn faced David Ali, Adam Priest, and Seth Gargis. And those were your 15 matches that played out on AEW Dark for this week. Look, man, the way it's looking with Tony Khan, by the way, Tony Khan is essentially, it's something that I've been dreading for a long time now. You just kind of felt that the writing was on the wall, but it would appear that Tony Khan, what we saw on Dark Elevation this week, we pretty much got a over eccentric, a over colorful, a overly animated Tony Khan. 9 days. It would appear that we are officially getting the Tony Khan character here. We've been seeing it. It's been teased on Impact when you really stop and think about it. Those little promos with him and Shivani, constantly. What's he calling himself now? The Forbidden Door and all of that shit. It feels so bad. I mean, I'm having flashes of Dixie Carter when she first began as a on-screen character, and just how cringe it was. And to say I have not been cringing, I'd be lying to you guys. Look, I like Tony Khan. I got nothing but respect for Tony Khan. I know some people want to make fun of him, and they want to basically pull the whole, daddy's pockets. That's pretty much how he was able to do what he was able to do there with AEW and all that. Man, I'm not going to meddle in that. That ain't none of my business how he was able to get the money and put it. Look, as long as it was legal, that's all I give a fuck about at the end of the day. To each its own. I don't give a fuck about that. What I give a fuck about at the end of the day is the talents performing, what's going on with the overall product, the consistency and the quality. That's all that I care about ultimately. I don't know who the respected people are that are telling Tony Khan, oh yeah, man, you should do this. Oh yeah, man, you should do that. Oh, that'd be totally fucking cool. Yeah, that'd be fucking badass. Yeah, go ahead, do that. Like, I don't know who's giving him that information, but I would like to believe, and I'm hoping that somebody that Tony Khan can absolutely trust in AEW that will give it to him right between the eyes, won't fucking sugarcoat shit, will say to him, hopefully he has that person. Hopefully they're saying to him, hey man, look, that's a bad idea because XYZ, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. Obviously, this is your company, you're signing off on the checks, but I personally would maybe do this. I would do XYZ. I hope he's getting that type of input, but particularly with the promo that he did there on Elevation, I'm hoping that he played it back. I'm hoping that he didn't get lost in his own, man, that came off good, I'm the motherfucking shit. I hope it was rough looking at that. It was really, really rough looking at that. And I'm sorry, I would rather have somebody tell me the truth, just give it to me right between the eyes, and give me that constructive criticism, let me know the things that I need to work on, then lie to my face and say it was good. Oh, it's the shit. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, they'll never see what's coming. Oh, man, you were on fire. I would, no. I would not want to have my head swolled up like that. Seriously. Look, if this is something that he's always fantasized about, something he's always, you hear the stuff that's out there, fantasy booker and all this other shit. I don't particularly care for all of that. My whole thing is, if he wants to be a on-screen character, hey, if it's under the right story arc and you got the right cast of characters, sure, go ahead, go for it. But you definitely need to make sure you put great emphasis on character. And what we saw tonight was, or rather on Elevation this week, it was essentially the beginning of a real proper introduction to the on-screen character that we could be coming across of Tony Khan in the near future. And I think it's going to be a bumpy ride, quite honestly. It's kind of interesting, too, because I go back and I think about numerous interviews where, whether it was Cody or maybe it was even Tony Khan himself, and they're like, oh, yeah, as far as what's going to really make AEW stand out differently is we're not going to have these authority figures, blah this, blah that, no, we're not going to do that. It's silly, blah this, blah that. And it's like, okay, I hear you. But yet we got Tony Khan coming out there and, and there's such inconsistency too in storyline, because it's also a case of stupid booking 101 when you really kind of stop and you think about it. You go, well, wait a minute. Where was this outrage? Where was this level of WTF when it came to the exploding barbed wire match? Where was this same level of, you feel where I'm coming from? There has just been so many examples, better examples of high priority that made all the sense in the world to have a Tony Khan come out and verbally say something to the AEW champion in Kenny Omega. To have him just come out on Elevation over one of the Seidels, was it? Like that just like, huh? When it counts the most, you're gonna waste that moment right there, right here. And in the process, you've pretty much set yourself up as a meme. You've set yourself up as a GIF. You've set yourself up for botchamania. You're not getting exactly the correct channel outlet So, my advice to Tony Khan, it would be just find somebody that you really, really trust, somebody that you know is going to give it to you right down the middle, does not have, no ties. It ain't going to be, oh, I got to say what I got to say. Make sure I'm getting this paycheck because I don't want to rock the boat. Find that one person that will definitely give it to you right between the eyes, tell it how it is right down the middle. And I'm like this. We saw how it was with Britt Baker and the leaps and bounds that she was able to make as an on-screen character. Man, Tony Khan, whatever was going on with Britt Baker, Tony Khan needs those same connections right about now. I don't want to see for several months, wishful thinking, but it's probably not going to happen. But me personally, I would not want to see Tony Khan again for several months, because what went down on Monday, that was very comical. That was very laughable. I just shook my head and I just, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, really? Wasn't needed. Wasn't needed. You got Big Show, you got Tony Schiavone, you're good to go. You're good to go. You didn't need that. You didn't need that. You got to time those spots there, man. You got to time them out. But yeah, little concern right there. Little concern right there. There's a few other things that I'm concerned about with AEW, but that's probably the one glaring thing in AEW right now that I'm really, really concerned about, which is the whole Tony Khan effect. And the last thing I'm trying to do, and the last thing I think any fan wants to see, is AEW end up being a situation where it starts becoming the Tony Khan show. Because you know how it is sometimes in life, you get this really good idea in your head and it sounds really good. It sounds really, really good. You take a pen, you're putting it to the paper, and you're just writing down all these really cool things that you plan on doing and everything. But then when you get ready to actually execute, it's like, wow, what sounded really good on paper and in my head, now that I'm channeling it out there, yeah, you know what? This was obviously a mistake. I definitely didn't consider this. I didn't consider that. I definitely didn't think about this. Oh, shit, what about that? You feel where I'm coming from? WrestleCon Tampa Bay made some announcements this week. New names have been added. Remember, I've been staying on top of this for you guys every couple of weeks. So the new names that's been added, Christian Cage and the Steiners, both Steiners, they've been added. Kevin Cash, Enzo, and Kaz XL, Al Snow, and Layla L. They're all going to be at the convention. So they pretty much joined the previous names that we had touched upon a couple of weeks back. That includes Victoria, Matt Taven, Dean Malenko, Magnum TA, Leo Rush, Lex Luger, Brooke Hogan, Ted DiBiase, Jerry Lawler, Ron Simmons, Arn Anderson, Jake Roberts, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and Sergeant Slaughter. Tickets went on sale earlier this month. If you guys are interested and you want to learn what's going on with the safety protocols and all that, go check out their site. Good prices. Pretty much everything begins at like $15 for those of you that are interested. While we're talking about tickets, don't forget WrestleMania tickets are going to be going on sale officially this Friday. You had a lot of websites and everybody that was reporting serious problems. Oh, it's not happening now and all this other shit with the WrestleMania tickets. When it was all said and done, WWE was just trying to set up some trial and error stuff on their back end. They were trying to work out the kinks. They were also trying to work out logistics as far as from a safety protocol measure, how they're going to go about selling tickets and everything, because you got to fight the scalpers and all that. So, but tickets are going to go on sale for WrestleMania in Tampa this Friday, as WWE is trying to do their best to have a packed house for WrestleMania. For them, what will be a success is if they can get about 42,000 people in the house. So that's what they want. They want about 42,000. So whether or not they'll be able to get that, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But that's Florida for you. It's bizarro world. I know hearing that for some people, it upsets them. I trust me, I get it. But you know what? Regardless, it's going to happen, whether we like it or not. The only thing we can pray and hope for is that for these people that's going to be coming to this event, hopefully they will have all, if it's at least a case where like 80% of the people that show up there, they got fully vaccinated, then at least we can kind of walk away from that and say, well, at least about 80% of folks were fully vaccinated. And as far as ramifications of that, like a slight uprise, a slight uptick in COVID cases, if it's to come, hopefully it won't be a high number. You feel me? Definitely no deaths. You feel me? But it's gonna happen regardless. If you guys are wondering, am I gonna do WrestleMania? And no, my wedding is in June, so I'm putting the final touches on the wedding. Pretty much where we stand now. Oh my God, I almost forgot too. Can't believe I almost forgot about that. I got to get my tux, and I gotta start making arrangements so that my tux will be ready, and it'll be down at the venue when it's time. So I'm focused on that, and I'm also focused on returning to AwesomeCon to cover the event. Yes, believe it or not, I'm actually going to be covering AwesomeCon. I'm working on some stuff behind the scenes. I'll have more as information becomes available, but right now I'm trying to return to covering AwesomeCon as part of the media press. So fingers crossed for that. And as I told you guys at the very beginning of the show, I'm getting my first of 2 vaccinations beginning this Friday. So I would not be going anywhere publicly, just me personally. I would not be going anywhere publicly if I wasn't fully vaccinated. So for me, and I don't have to worry about AwesomeCon until August. August is when that's going to be going down. So for me, that's going to be the first major, well, I guess you could say the wedding as well, because the wedding is in June, and I'll be fully vaccinated by then. I know the missus wants to be fully vaccinated way before the wedding. She's had her trepidations, but she's definitely trying to get her shot. As well, as a matter of fact, she had asked me if I could help set her up online so that eventually she can, get the nice little message that I had got today saying, come on and get your shot and everything. Hey, as we get ready to close out, because there's really not much else that we can get into tonight. So if there's something particularly you want me to get into, you guys can just let me know. But as we get ready to wrap things up, I want to end the show on this note, which is this. My thoughts, my prayers, my hearts, my condolences goes out to the people that were affected in Atlanta almost 24 hours ago now with that disgusting, heinous shooting from that gunman. I'm not going to give him any more validation. I'm not going to mention his name, but what a sick individual. The fact that he targeted members of the Asian community the way that he did. What was it? 8 lives lost? 8 lives lost? Because this individual decided he was going to target a specific race of people. Here in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, it's been kind of not to the level of what went down in Atlanta, but it's pushing that borderline. There has been a significant spike out here in hate crimes towards members of the Asian community, and it's appalling. Their restaurants are being broken into, or they're just their respected establishment in general. Whether it's a restaurant, a jewelry store, you name it, they're victims. There are fools that are making their rounds, doing personal damage to these establishments, breaking in, stealing merchandise, things of that nature. We've also got significant hate crimes. I mean, we had one case where some guy just walked up to an Asian owner and just cold knocked the shit out of him. Just cold knocked the shit out of him. We got individuals that walk into some of these Asian establishments, all in the DC metropolitan area, that walk into some of these Asian establishments, pepper spraying the hell out of these people, blaming them for the COVID virus, or the China virus, as it was dubbed. To hear that police officer at the press release say that young man had a bad day. Nah, my dude. Leaving your phone at home as you leave out the door to go to work, and you're halfway out there on the road. You're about 5 minutes away from work, and you realize you left your phone at home. That's having a bad day. Having a bad day is, oh fuck, I forgot to take my diabetes medicine with me, so now I'm gonna be all out of fucking loop for the next handful of hours until I get back home. So now I gotta try to figure out a way to manage my diabetes for the next little bit until I get access to my medicine again. Having a bad day is finding out that the job that you had for whatever X amount of years, they tell you that they're downsizing and they don't need you anymore. Or the job is now gone because of this pandemic, and that job just was not able to recuperate on their losses that have occurred during the pandemic, and ultimately they try to stay afloat as best as they could, but now they have to go out of business. So you find out, hey, the job that you used to have to provide for your family, that's now gone because everybody's out of a job now. That's having a bad day. And it was just disgusting and appalling that, and I'm not one of those people that like to pull the race card. You guys that have been checking me out for a long period of time, I'm above that. I don't do that because it's just too easy. But in this rare instance, I can't help but, as a black man and as a human being, I can't help but in this particular instance ask myself, had this individual been black or Mexican, would we really be seeing this police officer say at the podium, oh, he really had a bad day, almost justifying in a sick way what this man did to members of the Asian community? I don't think so. I think if we flip that script and we put in there a Hispanic or a black person, wouldn't be as kind. Would not be as kind. And I hope that respected police officer, I hope he gets pulled. I hope he gets suspended. If he hasn't issued an apology yet, I hope he does. I mean, just poor choice of words. Poor choice of words that man used. Period. Fucking period. We all got to get along with each other. We do. This country, it's called America. It's called Land of the Free. It's called It's, you know, this country, it's supposed to be for everybody. Everybody. You know, doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter what religion you believe in. It doesn't matter your sexual orientation. It doesn't matter your gender. It doesn't matter your age. You're looking for opportunities to better yourself and your family. This is the country for you. Hell, it was built off of immigrants. That's what we're supposed to be about. You know, we're supposed to be about great unity, thus united. And I have motherfuckers asking me how I'm celebrating St. Patrick's Day. I'm sorry, but excuse me if I'm not interested in celebrating that holiday. I don't particularly care about that holiday. I never have cared about that holiday. I feel it doesn't personally apply to me. Furthermore, are we really gonna celebrate St. Patrick's Day? Really? With what's going on in the world right now? Look, I know everybody's got problems. Everybody's trying to figure out, you know, how can we make up for what's going on in the country right now, you know, with this pandemic and all that other stupid shit. And, you know, you try to do what you can. I understand that. You try to do what you can. But we need to be having a serious talk with our fellow man and woman. We need to be having talks with our local council members. We need to be having talks with our people that are in our neighborhood. You know that little song, "These are the people in your neighborhood"? You know, we need to be talking to the people that are in our own backyards and making sure that they are okay. They have everything they need, and, you know, a little bit more compassion, a little bit more understanding towards individuals. You know, but this shit with the Asian communities, it needs to stop. Like, period. Probably the most heartbreaking thing for me, you know, besides what happened with hearing what went down in Atlanta, the other most sickening thing was seeing what happened with that Uber driver and those girls. That was probably the most disgusting thing, you know, to see people get into a Uber and just, you know, you got this guy saying, "Hey, you know, I can't drive. I can't take you where you need to go. You need to wear a mask." Clear as fucking day. I mean, I don't do Uber. I just don't like Uber. I do Lyft. But when I would ride with Uber, I mean, it's not that fucking hard, people. You get in there, you know, "Hey, how you doing?" Sometimes you'll get that one driver. I had a really cool Lyft driver the other day. I was telling my boy Rob Taker about this. Shout out to Rob. And I was telling him about it. Actually, it was Rob and somebody else. Rylan. It was Rylan. I was talking to both of them about it. I said, I had one of the coolest Lyft drivers. Normally, when I get in my Lyft, I say, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm quiet. I got my AirPods. I'm jamming to my music. I'm studying. But this driver, he was very chatty, and it wasn't just a case where he was just spitting out random shit. I mean, it was the most simplistic shit that just, I can relate to that. He was telling me how, "Hey, you know that Goodwill right there that we just passed?" I said, yeah, I know about that. What's up?" He's like, "Man, I have found a really nice bike. Because I needed some parts for this bike I was trying to build for my godson, and I have found this really great bike." And I mean, just the way he was just opening up with conversation, it was shit that, like, okay, I relate to this, I connect with this, and it was a very fun, enjoyable ride. And this was pretty much the first person I had saw after I woke up, washed up, headed out the door. I'm trying to get to work. This was the very first person that I saw. I can't tell you how much of a boost morale that did for me, and the tone it set for me for the rest of the day, and essentially how I was treating my coworkers and how I was treating customers. You know, it was infectious. You know, pass it on. to see these girls operate the way that they were operating. And what was really fucked up about this, you know, when you do your research and you look up these girls and you see fucking their names, and you find out one is a Malaysian, and you find out and you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So you all are essentially ethnics as well. You're minorities as well. And you're coming down hard on this guy. Really. You're coming down hard on this guy. Like that. All he's trying to do is provide for his family. We got to stop with this shit. We got to stop with this. You know, what's sad about this is something that has been under the cracks for a long time. But it's come to the surface. And we don't need to be here all night. But everything, there's a whole lot. When you just, the totality. I'll say this. I ain't got no problem saying this. And those of you that disagree with me, hey, I'm entitled to my opinion just as you're entitled to your opinion. It sure as hell didn't help when we had the last administration in office. Tell you what, it was refreshing to hear a president at the podium say, what's going on with Asian Americans and these hate crimes, it needs to stop. That was refreshing to hear. It's like, yes, self-accountability. What is it that I always tell you guys here on the show? Self-accountability. Goes all the way around. Remember that? We said that, I think, earlier this week. Just as you are responsible for your actions from the minute that you walk out the door, I'm responsible for my actions the minute I walk out of my door. Self-accountability, it goes all the way around. When we can, as a society, get a better grasp on that and really understand that and take that to the heart, that is essentially a key overall in how we go about better treating our fellow man and our fellow woman. But you know, it's not going to end. It's not going to end. I think with what had happened tonight, or rather last night, I think what had happened there in Atlanta and everything, I just fear there's going to be a whole lot of copycats and there's going to be a whole lot of other stupid shit that's going to be going down. Mark my words on that. I think this is just the tipping point, sadly. Just the tipping point. Other than that, God, we got a lot of questions here. Let's see here. Do I think AEW will ever be a publicly traded company like World Wrestling Entertainment? Short answer to that, anything is possible. Might not like that answer, but anything is possible. I think that's a question that's better asked to Tony Khan. I mean, we've got all these dirt sheets and wrestling websites that want to try to play footsie with Tony Khan. And, you know, there's some questions that they don't ask because they fear that their press credentials are going to get taken away. Let's be honest. AEW is one of those type of companies, you know, unlike WWE. When you're in the wrong with WWE, it's the facts that are essentially on WWE's side and the way that they pretty much got everything set up. You know, ultimately, if you did something that kind of caught the attention of WWE, you know, and somehow you're in the wrong, they've got you dead to rights typically. Yeah, AEW, on the other hand, they're one of those type of promotions. If you know, it's one thing if you just offer straight up constructive criticism about them, you know, you kind of approach them the way that I do and others do, then, you know, they respect that. They respect those fair, constructive, they respect that. But if you're constantly the Debbie Downers, you're constantly bashing, you're constantly putting them down, they can make things for you very, very difficult. and that's a fact. But I personally would like to see on the next post show or something, I would like to see Tony Khan answer that question as far as ultimately becoming a publicly traded company. And if he says no, why would he be against that? Have I ever watched old ECW matches? No, because I lived through ECW. So that's something that it's funny. All these years later, I've yet to go down memory lane and just binge hours upon hours upon hours checking out ECW stuff. But no, it's like certain things in wrestling, I don't like go back and watch on a consistent basis because it's like I lived through it the first go round, kind of like Rock versus Hogan. It's like I remember where I was for that. I gotta be in a real nostalgia mode. I gotta be in one of those, I want to check this out. This is what I got a taste for. I want to go check this out. I can't recall the last time I had watched ECW matches, like just to be going down memory lane. How long I've been doing, well, see, that's the thing. That's the thing. In case you didn't pick it up by now, Bob, in case you didn't pick it up by now, we don't just talk wrestling. This isn't just a straight up wrestling review show. Do I talk a little bit about, wrestling here and there? Yeah, but there's much more bigger, important things that's going on in the world as well. And it'd be kind of silly to ignore some of those things. So let's see. Other than that, yeah, we're caught up. We're pretty good otherwise. All right, so quick programming notes. Sunday, WWE is doing the Fastlane pay-per-view, right? So here's the plan. Friday, I may come on here. If I do come on here Friday, we'll talk SmackDown. We'll go over match predictions for Fastlane. I don't really think there's going to be any major headlines that's going to be going on, so we should be okay. But if there is, we'll definitely talk about it on the Friday show. I feel like 50-50 right now with regards to a Friday show. We'll see. It just depends. Because remember, Friday, I'm getting my vaccination. So depending how I feel after I get the vaccination, and then I'm also taking into account I got to go in for work Saturday morning. We'll see how I'm feeling. But I want to be in and out if we do end up doing a Friday show. So as long as you're staying connected on social media, there's going to be an announcement, let you guys know what's going on with the Friday show. But I will be live Sunday with the Fastlane post show. So check that out. That should be a lot of fun. By the way, I did put up another video, in case you guys are not aware, on the YouTube channel. There is another product review. Remember, it's part of a trilogy. So in the first video, we reviewed the Etsy photography lighting tent kit. We reviewed that. Then in the second video, we reviewed the Unage 360 degree rotating display stand. There's going to be a third video that's going to be dropping. I'm going to have it drop at some point, maybe Friday or Saturday. I haven't quite figured out which day, but it's either going to be Friday or Saturday. We're going to have a third video that's going to drop, and you're going to see how everything comes together as I'll be reviewing the Spawn Kickstarter that Todd McFarlane had started up almost a year ago. And I just love showing this box off. I just love showing this fucking box off. Here it is once again. It's fucking badass. Here it is once again. So you guys will see how everything we did in the first two videos culminates in the final video. So check that out. First two videos are available on the YouTube channel. So check that out. Patreon members, I'm working on content for you guys. I'm actually going to have some content that's going to be dropping sometime Thursday afternoon. So stay tuned for that. Remember, patreon.com/RCWR Show. That's where you can check out bonus audio video content you won't be able to find anywhere else, beginning at $5. And I can tell you this right now, as soon as we get off the air, I'm actually going to renew my HBO Max subscription. And I will be checking out the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League. And there will be a special 30 with Lee episode that'll be talking about that. It'll be free for a limited time, much like we did with Coming to America on Patreon. We made that free for a limited time for people to check out, figure out if that's something they need to check out or not, or pass. We're going to do the same thing for Zack Snyder's Justice League. So actually, how I'll be spending tonight, I'll actually be watching the original Justice League cut just to kind of get myself refamiliar. And then pretty much by the time that's over, I wonder if they're going to do it like they did Wonder Woman. Because if I remember it right, I think around noon, I think it was maybe noon or 10 a.m. is when they made Wonder Woman available to watch on HBO Max. So I'm wondering how they're going to do. I haven't logged in to HBO Max in so long, so I'm a little bit curious how they're going to be setting that up. If it's going to be in the wee hours of the night, or if they're going to kind of do it like Wonder Woman and basically, 10, 11, noon is when. But in either case, I'm definitely going to watch the original version. And pretty much go from there. Be kind, rewind, check out previous episodes you may have missed on demand and on the downloads wherever you get your podcasts, including Amazon Music and Audible. By the way, shout out to those of you that have been checking out the show on Amazon Music and also on Audible. And friendly reminder, we are on Spotify. I can't stress it enough. If you are a Spotify fan as well, make sure you have Spotify in rotation as well. But long as you're listening, however you're listening on those outlets, appreciate the love and the support as always. For those of you that had tuned in live, thank you. As always, those of you that's going to be checking out the show on demand and on the downloads, much love and thank you for the support as always. Get at me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Use the keywords, the RCWR Show. And until next go round, I'm wishing all of y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. Stop with the Asian hate. We need to end this shit already. It's getting stupid. Just remember what I said earlier. Self-accountability. Forward. Always forward. The act of kindness. Pass it around. We need that now more than ever, y'all. Let's get to it already. We can make it happen. Peace, y'all. Take care.